Welcome to the Manchester with Blue show, everybody. We've got Baz and Ryan. How are we doing, lads? We okay? Brighton fans, of course.
Yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah, all good. Thanks, Tom.
Good lad. I've actually been down to Brighton's game, Brighton's ground a couple of years ago. It's a beautiful little stadium we've got there, lads, on the coast.
Yeah. No, it's not too bad, to be fair. I mean, it's not exactly like rivaling, the likes of Old Trafford or the Emirates, for example. But no, I mean, for a club our stature, it's a really, really impressive stadium. And yeah, like Ryan said, it's relatively new, so we're still, I grew up at the Dean, which was a running track. So it's miles away from the Dean, to say the least.
Oh, I love that. I did the Brighton Marathon a couple of years ago, and I met Chris Hewton. He was down there as well. I actually ran it for Brighton in the community. Believe it or not, my cousin was I can't remember, was he was one of the directors of Brighton in the community. So I got roped into doing that somewhere on the line. So managed to get a tour of the stadium as well. So yeah, I've got a lot of a little bit of love for Brighton somewhere along the line. Something's kicked in there. So I'm really looking forward. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to playing you guys. I mean, we've got a really good record against
We're not.
Yeah, I was going to say, get the annual 4-0 beat in and move on, basically.
Yeah. When you say this, I mean, City are aiming to stretch our winning run across all competitions to 7 matches when we welcome your boys to the Etihad on Wednesday night. Obviously, 6 o'clock kick-off, isn't it? Which is bonkers in the grand scheme of things, but you can understand it with this COVID world we're in. What are you guys thinking of an early kick-off?
I mean, after playing 120 minutes at Newport yesterday, I mean, going all the way to penalties against the League Two side to come up against Man City a couple of days later isn't exactly ideal. But
are you expecting to put a full-strength squad out there?
I've got to admit, I don't think we will. I reckon we'll put like a decent squad, but we've got Leeds, I think, at the weekend.
Yeah,
we just had Newport, so I think we're going to probably sort of accept the fact we're going to lose the next one and probably bank on the Leeds game, I reckon.
Yeah, just give us the points, lads. Don't show up.
I mean, I'll happily do that, to be fair. But no, I think Ryan's right. I think we're going to play like a second string team against you guys. Some guy DM'd us as well on our Instagram account. I don't know how reliable this guy is, but he basically said that we're going to have a front three of Izquierdo, Shaqiri, and Percy Tau, which they're not our regular starters. So if that is true, which I can't verify for sure, but if that is true, then yeah, it's definitely a second string team where.
Do you reckon Izquierdo will start?
Well, this is what I literally said, because he's not played any minutes all season.
He's been out for 2 years.
Yeah, to chuck him in against Man City, I think is a bit stupid. But yeah, like I said, it's not reliable information. But the way that Potter's obviously quite a strong team yesterday, so I can see him potentially, playing a weakened side, so to speak, against City as a free hit. Because let's be real, we're not expecting to do anything against you guys, so I'd happily just take the loss, keep our players fresh for Leeds, and just try and batter Leeds. Basically,
Leeds got a pasting as well, didn't they? So if that's the only problem with a team coming out of a pasting against the lower league town. They're going to be all guns blazing, so you need a strong enough squad to face that, and what Leeds can bring to you. I noticed Graham Potter described the game yesterday as traumatic. I don't think your goalkeeper had a particularly great game, did he?
No. I mean, he made up for it. I mean, he saved 4 penalties in the penalty shootout, so he made up for it. But yeah, God, that mistake was just.
And it wasn't just that one, was it, Ryan? He obviously the one earlier in the game where the ball bounced over him, and he just had a bit of a. Yeah, it's very shaky. But then a lot of
Jason.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of fans and us alike, I suppose, we wondered why Matty Ryan wasn't playing, because a lot of the fantasy Premier League sort of fans know Matty Ryan because he's like a cheap option. He's very good, like as a cheap option to have, and a lot of people are aware of him. So they're all wondering why he didn't start, and we were just as sort of perplexed as well. But he's been out of the reckoning, and obviously Sanchez is now first team choice.
I think Matty will probably be off. That's why.
Yeah,
I can't see him staying
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tau, that's a new lad, isn't he? Do you think Tau will play on Wednesday night? He's a new signing, isn't he?
I love Percy Tau. What a man. He's given me 2,000 followers on Twitter in one day. Absolute legend. No, to be fair, we signed him, I think it was 905 days ago, and he made his debut yesterday.
Because was he? Well, go on, explain that.
It was a work permit issue because he come from South Africa. He couldn't get it. So since Brexit, apparently it meant that he could then get a work permit. So it's been nearly 3 years since we signed him, and he made his debut last night. And the first time, 905 days, I think it was. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I'm quite happy with him. I thought he played all right. Like he's quite quick. He's quite skillful. something that we don't have really, to be honest, anyone to take anyone on. So I'm
thinking to myself, right? Okay, if I'm City, I'm in City's coaching team. Now, who should I be looking out for? Who's going to be the danger men for you against us?
Well, Lewis Dunk maybe on a header, but that's about it, mate.
Basically, corners and free kicks. Is that what you're shouting at?
Well, we've improved a bit now, yeah. But going forward, we have been far from cutting edge anything dangerous. Neil Maupay on his day can be, but he's been off it a bit. So, yeah, you're not really looking at any game changers, if I'm being completely honest.
And also as well, to be perfectly honest with you, with the way Potter sort of chopped and changed the season, I don't know about you, Ryan, but I'd struggle to name, guess who he's going to start with. So, to tell you who the front three would be and who to look out for is probably your guess as good as ours. The way he chops and changes, and he loves rotation at the moment. So, depending on if we play our full strength team, you're looking at the likes of Maupay leading the line. But if it's
Trossard on his day,
Trossard and McAllister.
McAllister, you're probably all right with McAllister, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a very raw talent. I think he's 21, is he, Ryan? I think
21. He's got a long way to go.
He's got a long way to go. He's got potential. He set up the goal for Maupay against Arsenal, if you remember, just after lockdown. In that sort of big moment in the last minute, and then since then, really, he hasn't. Oh, and he scored against Palace as well, to be fair. Apart from those couple of moments of glimpses, he's still a very raw talent, and he's one for the future, I think.
Dunk's been a rock for you. I've been watching Dunk for some time, and he's one of those players for you where you just need to grab a ball and chain and stick it around his ankles so he don't go anywhere. He's done fantastically well for you.
He's slow enough, Tom. He's slow enough. I don't think he needs that.
You must rate him.
No.
He's just a fantastic player, isn't he? He's probably one of our best ever, to be honest. He's just, if you know anything about me, you know that Lewis Dunk propaganda is everywhere. Literally, I've been crying for him to be in that England side for probably the last 2 years. I can't believe he hasn't got it yet. But he's 29 now, so it looks a bit far-fetched. But no, he's been absolutely fantastic. Everything. Yeah. He's got all the qualities you'd want a centre-half to have, to be honest.
I have genuinely been surprised he's not been called up, and I don't understand why. I mean, let's face it, if he played for Liverpool or United, he'd probably be on the team sheet, wouldn't he? But
definitely.
Do you generally think it's because you are Brighton that he's not been called up, which is really sad if that's the case?
Yeah,
I genuinely do.
I think it's a big fact. I think it's a big factor, definitely. You look at, you could even look at players like Tarkowski. He plays for Burnley, and people were calling for him to be in the team, but he didn't get a chance of looking. But then you look at, the big sort of clubs that, I know
Joe Gomez a fraud.
Yeah, Gomez. You look at Gomez and Stones, for example. They were having a really... Obviously, Stones has improved massively now, and he's playing probably arguably his best football for City at the moment. But was it 3-4 months ago? He's probably having his worst sort of period as a centre-half, and yet he was still making the squad here and there. So, I think definitely there's big club bias along the way. And it's disappointing, not only as Brighton fans, but obviously for the players as well. You're not getting picked simply because you play for a lesser team, so to speak. But if you've got the quality, if you're better than the players in the squad, then I don't understand this whole club bias thing, which I think does exist.
I think the thing that Southgate was saying was Dunk's not a pass out from the back kind of guy, but I mean he's been spraying 70-yard balls since he was in the Championship. So I just don't get it. Like he does all of the passing, his chesting abilities. I think probably his biggest attribute. Normal centre halves just header it out of the way as soon as the ball comes up, and he just brings it down his chest, does a simple little ball out, or bring it down his chest and he'll spread it 70 yards up the pitch, but. For some reason it just doesn't get recognised. But I guess, it's probably because
even that goal against Watford, was it last season, Ryan? The first day of the season last season, where he done that through ball, and he's like, from centre half, he basically assisted Maupay from his own half with a through ball. So his range of passing is incredible, and he's just all round impressive. He had a really shaky start when he first came in the Prem, but since then he's been immense for us. And I think Ryan's right; he'll go down as a club legend for sure.
Oh, 29, did he say? He's still got time, hasn't he? Still got time for that England
I mean, I'm 29, so hopefully that's not too old.
I think I've just peaked at 38. I've just peaked. One player I wanted to ask you about. You seem to have picked up a lot of injuries, or are you quite reduced in manpower at the moment when it comes to your team? What's Danny Welbeck like for you?
I think he's been good, but I think Potter's just said. I think it's Welbeck, Lallana, Alzate's still out. Jahanbakhsh took a knock, I think it was. I think we're missing a good other 6 players for injury. But Lallana and Welbeck, we knew were going to be those sort of quality on their day, but they're going to be limited days, But yeah, he was good. But then, we haven't seen him for about 2 or 3 weeks, have we now? Tariq Lamptey's also out, which is a big blow. So yeah, it's just frustrating with injuries, but I guess that's football, isn't it?
That is football, though. Spot on. Have you got a prediction lined up for the game?
Score prediction?
Look at your faces. I feel dreadful asking the question. You do realise in the game of football, anything can happen in football, don't you, lads? Come on.
I'll give it 4-0.
Yeah, I think 3-0 City. I think.
So I see you in the league. I see you teetering 4th from bottom. I don't want to see you there from now on. Was getting rid of Houghton the right answer for you with bringing Potter in?
Right. Yeah. 100%. For me, 100%. Yeah, I think we're all majority of Brighton fans are on board with that. Like at the time, I remember there was a massive uproar. Everyone was like, "Oh, how could you get rid of Hugh? And he'd done so much for you. He's such a great servant to your club and all that kind of thing." And to an extent, I sort of agreed. But then the style of football he was playing, we looked quite negative at times. Even like, for example, if we'd go a goal up, we'd still look quite, we'd sit back and invite pressure on. And don't get me wrong, he was getting results here and there, and he was a great servant for us. But I think the time was right, and I really back the owners, and fair play to them. I think they made a really bold decision, and personally, I think it was definitely justified because Potter does play great football, and we see a sort of long-term vision with him. Whereas with Houghton, we sort of didn't see that. I don't think. Well, me personally, anyway. So I think that's what really sort of impressed me with the owners, giving them making a big choice like that, and I think it was definitely justified. But I don't know about you, Ryan, if you think the same.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I thought at the time, I thought it was probably the right time because you could see that it was just slowly not working. Like players weren't playing for him anymore. As I say, don't get me wrong, he's been a fantastic servant. Everything that Chris did for us was unbelievable. But that last season in particular, 18-19, I mean, losing 5-0 to Bournemouth and then 2-0 to Cardiff in 7 days was just, pretty horrific, to be honest. And then, you're looking at those sort of results and the way we played in those games in particular, it's just, I couldn't see, there was no light at the end of that tunnel, I don't think. And I think it was the right time to change it up. I think the club know that we want to be this top 10 side, supposedly, in the next few years or whatever it is. But it's a big ambition. But I think, Potter is the guy to do that. The style of play is there. It's just the lack of quality in the players we've got is letting us down.
I suppose that's the main question I've got, really, from my side of things. Do you expect, what's it going to take for you to, from where you are now, to be that top 10 position in the league? What's it going to take for you guys to get you there?
I think it's as simple as answer as we need to start putting our chances away. We look at these expected goals thing, and we win every single week. The midfield is there. Defensively, we've been pretty shaky at times, but then that's natural with Webster, White, both being championship players. So you've got to give them time to sort of settle in. Dunk's our only real established one at the back there. March is sort of just settling into that left wing back, and Lamptey's obviously only 19, 20 years old. So it's as simple as really letting that young team gel. We've got one of the youngest teams in the league, and sort of letting them, develop. I think we've got a lot of talent there, and unfortunately, the nature of the Prem, the likes of Bissouma, Lamptey will be snapped up by those bigger clubs. But I think it's as simple as we create these chances, but we don't have the quality to be putting them away. I mean, Mopé misses a ridiculous ton of chances. We brought in Zakiri, who looks, pretty lively to start with, but we just need that goal scorer. And to be honest, we need to stop being a bit leaky as well.
Being in January, are you expecting to bring anyone else in to help you?
I'd like to hope so, but then I guess it's easier said than done, isn't it? I mean, we are the smallest club in the league, so getting a player and spending that sort of money is pretty hard. I've seen we've been linked with that Caicedo, who was off to Man United.
The 19-year-old,
yeah. Off your best mates across the town.
They can jog on as well.
Yeah, but I think that's as good as a done deal, isn't it, Maz?
Yeah. I think pretty much confirmed. I think they're just sorting out, finalising like the last thing. I think it's 6.5 million. I think we're getting him for. Which is a snip, because apparently he's meant to be. Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm going to put my hands up. I haven't watched too much of him, but apparently he's meant to be. I think Phil Vickery said that he's one of the best sort of young talents in South America. So to be able to snap him up, which is pretty mental. Having the likes of Man United, I think Everton were interested in him. So to sort of fend, well, to get ahead of those guys is pretty impressive, to be honest with you. And
it can't be any good if he's thinking of going to United. That's very simple.
Thanks, Tom. That fills us with lots of confidence signing him. But that is one thing. Like it is great, and I love it. I love seeing us sign these great, exciting young players, and it's great. But at the same time, we do need to get some sort of players that are ready now. So yeah, like Ryan mentioned, getting that striker. So like we signed Zakiri, who's a 21-year-old, and great if he does come in and hit the ground running, amazing. But is he going to do that? Let's be real and realistic. Probably not. So having that, let's say get like an established, like a Divock Origi, for example, someone who's established, can score goals in the Premier League. A proven Premier League striker. I think that's what we're missing. And then until we get that, that's when we're going to struggle putting away our chances, like Ryan said.
I think the trouble, as you say, is look at like a Divock Origi or these so-called established players. These wages and stuff, we just simply can't compete. I mean, you look at Ollie Watkins. We were linked with him really heavily in the summer, and he went to Villa for 35 million plus 85 grand a week wages. It's just like we can't compete with that. We cannot compete with the 35 million transfer fee on top of an 85 grand a week wage. I mean, I think our best paid is like 50 grand. So it's just unrealistic for us. It's a frustrating thing, but it's the nature of being a small club in a big league, unfortunately.
Well, with the loan, obviously, with the loan system, most of these big clubs will pay most of their wages. So in that sense, if it's a loan deal, we'd be all right. But yeah, in terms of permanent transfers, of course, we can't compete with the likes of these top 6 clubs, and even nowadays, like you look at like Leeds and Villa, they're splashing out 40, 50 Wolves, Leeds, Villa, all these clubs.
They're huge clubs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wolves, Leeds, Villa.
We've got to put some perspective. Like me, Ryan, and Ben, who run the podcast, we're all very realistic. We know we're a small club. We're not
little seaside Brighton.
Yeah, exactly. And like just to be in the position we are now, like if you actually think about it, it's actually crazy just to be in the Premier League still and competing with the likes of we gave Man United a great run for their money earlier this season. Yeah. Chelsea, all these big clubs that we're competing against, which we never thought we'd do even 5 years ago or 4 years ago.
Everyone said we'd go down with Huddersfield in the first season, and that didn't happen. So
exactly.
It's great to see you. It's great to still see you in the league, though. I mean, I'm looking at the league table now. You're 17th. You've got Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield below you, and they are worse teams than you. I guarantee. I'm looking at the teams above you. There's even 3 teams I can pick out straight away that are worse than you. Do you just think that you've played the wrong games at the wrong time? Or you're going to be able to get that momentum up now to take you clear of that 17th spot?
The weirdest thing with us, it sounds strange, but we just can't seem to find a momentum. We could win a game and then we'll go and get battered the next. It's really weird. We can't seem to string like a consecutive sort of run of games together for some reason. And we look at these lesser games like your Fulhams and Sheffield Uniteds. I don't fancy them. I really don't. I prefer us going up against a team where we're not the supposed favourite. I mean, you saw us last night against Newport. It was horrific to watch. Like we were the favourite going into that game, and we just can't do it for some reason. We just can't finish a team off when we're in pole position. So I've got to admit, looking at this end of this season, I'm looking a bit concerned, to say the least.
Yeah, we've got some fans who play in Manchester, lads. I'll tell you that for one thing. What's the deal with is Crystal Palace your local rivals? What's the deal with that then? So 30 miles down the motorway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that something to do with the chairman's years ago?
Yeah, it was to do with
local rivals.
Mullery. It was to do with Mullery and Venables back in the day, in the 70s, I think it was. And there was a famous photo of Alan Mullery chucking pennies at Palace fans, saying, "You're not even worth that, Palace." And since then, it's sort of really evolved, and it's always been in my blood to hate them. My dad's been a fan since the 70s, so he's always just said, "You hate Palace, okay? I hate Palace. I've always hated Palace, and that's just how it's been."
Yeah, same with me and my family. All Blues that hate Reds, so that's always good enough. So you've given us your score prediction. There's one question. I'm going to leave you to it now, lads. There's one question I need to ask you, and this is from one of our admins. What's it like to witness a team win the league at your stadium?
I'll tell you what, it was actually that day.
Can I just interrupt you there, Ryan?
Go on.
Because when you scored that first goal against us, I was bricking myself. Honestly, that was the worst 3 minutes of my life when you scored that. I thought, no, it's going to happen again. It's happening again.
when it went in, I was there and I was just like, I was chanting Liverpool's chants and stuff, and we were all singing Liverpool. But then they went up the other end and and then they went up the other end and scored. So we just thought, you know what, let's just give it City, because I think they scored in like 2 minutes or something. But I've got to admit, like you scored 2 in really quick, and we knew we'd throw it away. And I think the whole day itself was just a mad one. I think it was Company's last day. It was Bruno's last game, which was mad. And then obviously you boys won the league. I've still got a video on my phone of the players lifting that trophy, just because it was like, for us, it's the closest we're going to get to it. So I might as well watch it. But
listen, don't say, never say never, pal. 15 years ago, I was in your shoes.
True.
So don't never say never with football. This is what I'm saying. He's so confident.
I was going to say,
I'm not having that.
All we need is a billionaire owner, don't we? So you never know.
You found anywhere, can't you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Need some Chinese guy to come in and just take over the club. That'd do.
Knowing your luck, he'll turn out to be a Palace fan.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, Tom. If he's got the money, I don't care what fan he is. As long as he's pumping the money in, I'll take that all day long.
Oh, thanks. Listen, lads, we're done. I'm happy with that. As long as you two are fine, I'm really happy. Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
No worries, Tom. Thanks for having us on.
Cheers, boys. Catch you later.
Cheers.
Thank you.